got Capitol Hill.
Boy, this is wrong.
Come on.
Yeah, and the political theater that is the testimony of Edward Liddy, the AIG, there you see him right there, being accosted by Code Pink. I love it when they show up. That's when you know the political theater is at its height, when you have Code Pink.
They should just put a dunking booth there.
Oh,
they should just put the CEOs in a dunking booth and just throw stuff at them.
It's virtually the same thing. We're joined by Chris Markowski, our watchdog on Wall Street, talking about all this mess. And, you know, Chris, I think everyone in the country everybody pretty much agrees that these guys getting these bonuses, it's something, as Edward Liddy said, distasteful. Because here you have some of the very men who brought this company to the brink, or actually under, and now they're getting bonuses. But all of this outrage going on by the politicians is a little ridiculous considering they all knew about it coming up.
Well, it's worse than that. Last year alone, over $500,000 was paid by AIG to certain politicians. Number one on the list was Chris Dodd. Number two was Barack Obama. 3, John McCain. 4, Hillary Clinton. 5, Joe Biden. Right on down the list. I've yet to see a single politician volunteer their campaign dollars to give back to the taxpayers. That's my problem. You know, lead by example. Do us a favor. Lead by example. I understand all the outrage drives me crazy in regards to these pay packages. I've been yelling and screaming about this stuff for years, but they did have a contract. Yeah, and the contract should be honored.
What about this new regulatory committee that the administration is thinking about putting together that would become the bailout czar, so to speak?
Ooh, we need more czars. And it worked out real well for Russia, didn't it?
It sure did.
Drug czar, housing czar,
Come on now.
Brazilian wax czar in New Jersey. We got all this stuff going on.
I want to be the Brazilian wax czar. I want to be the guy who does that.
Yes, we know you do.
I mean, is there any sense to that? Do we really need one more person to oversee something that could possibly fail?
I don't think so. I think that once again, I think that government needs to step away. We, the taxpayers, for all intents and purposes, own AIG. We put $170 billion of our money into AIG. We own it. So now we should want it to succeed and get our money back. How that's going to happen is we need to break the thing up into little pieces, sell it off, and get our money back.
What do you? Oh, I was going to say, what do you think about the House's plan today? You know, they're going to vote on, taxing other businesses who have received the $5 billion in bailout or more, taxing them on their bonuses.
I think it's a kangaroo show. It's all a
You're
big
not buying
show.
it?
I'm not buying it at all. They're all trying to save their you-know-whats. Because think about this for a second. Think about the government stepping in and creating taxes out of thin air to penalize people. I mean, let's go after actors who put out bad movies. Let's go out for, athletes who don't perform well under contract. It's just nonsensical.
Well, do you think the IRS is going to be able to get this bonus money back by taxing it? I mean, that's what they're threatening.
I think
is it gone?
Once again, a lot of torches and pitchforks out there. The politicians know that, and they're playing to that crowd.
All right, Chris, once again by Chris Markowski, our watchdog on Wall Street. He's been in the chat room all morning long. Chris, what are they buzzing about in the chat room this morning?
Well, earlier, I don't want to lie, I've tried to stay in the chat room, but the internet went a little zooey on me, so we couldn't be in there for too long. But earlier on, we were talking a lot about AIG, and once again, the torches and the pitchforks are out. Everyone is really, really ticked off in regards to these salaries and what these people have made. And I would advise people to go back and take a look, not just at these executives, but what Wall Street salaries have been for a long period of time. And we've discussed this here on the program. One of the reasons why we're in this mess, you can go back to 1999 when they repealed Glass-Steagall Act, which was Depression-era legislation, which allowed for these big, huge financial supermarkets. And all these banks and financial institutions started becoming self-serving entities. They weren't even serving their shareholders. They were there. They were not even an industry. They're there to serve the executives.
Gotcha.
That being said, and it stinks, and I hate it, and I got my torch and my pitchfork too. We cannot allow ourselves to start breaking into thousands of years of contract law and destroying contracts. That can't happen. That's what Washington does. That's the grand cathedral of unintended consequences. They're going to do something bad is going to happen after the fact.
Okay, when we're looking at this situation, you see these executives get these bonuses, and some of these executives are the reason why we're in this mess in the first place. So why keep them on? Why pay them the bonuses?
Well, some of these were written into their contract before this whole disaster happened in the first place, and a lot of Wall Street salaries are based totally on bonuses, and they weren't performance-based. If they were performance-based, they wouldn't be getting them. Most of them were retention bonuses to keep on. Some of them had left, which is even bringing more people anger in regards to this thing. But as the law states, and especially state law in Connecticut, where AIG's corporate headquarters is they cannot break these contracts. If they do, we're going to get huge lawsuits coming down the pike. And what does this lead to? Is the government going to step in to any contract that it deems not right? They're going to break up A-Rod's contract? They're going to break up, Paris Hilton's contract?
I guess I heard Liddy talking about how they had to keep some of these executives on because they knew how they got into this mess in the first place. They sort of had the keys to the castle, so to speak.
Well, yeah, you can use the old, you know how MacGyver always diffuses bombs with like a, toothpick and some toothpaste and some gum. Well, these guys are saying these guys created the whole mess. They're the ones that can figure out how to get ourselves out of this mess. And once again, the reality, we talked about this earlier, we own it.
Yeah.
We own it. $170 billion of our money is in this company. We want this to be fixed and we want to get paid back.
Okay, where were the politicians in all of this? Where was Senate when they were signing their name
They
to
were collecting
this?
campaign contributions, over $500,000 worth. And interesting in regard to those contributions, most of the money, 98% of the money went to incumbents. That just basically shows you how our political system works. Pay to play.
So would you see them actually going back? I mean, sending the money back to them? Is anybody giving the money back?
Yeah, and hell's going to freeze over tomorrow, too. And pigs are going to fly, and these congressmen are going to give back campaign contributions. Not going to happen.
All right, Chris, thank you so much.